minute, don't know. Got a minute of your time. Got a minute of your. Hush up, gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its side. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.
What was I supposed to say? Oh my gosh.
Hello and good morning.
And good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you?
I was on time. How are you?
I was on time. It was 10:00.
No, it's 10:03, by the way.
I know. I'm sorry. I was running, and any time that I'm late, you all know how much Miguel loves people that are late. And I know that, and I rush, but I don't rush enough, clearly. So this morning I gave my mom. My mom had a class that she wanted to go to.
Right.
So
at the church, right?
No, at the gym. She's doing a boot camp right now.
Stop it.
Yes.
So she's not going.
No. She's going to the church, but the church doesn't start until noon.
But my mom is upstairs waiting.
For what?
For a ride to go.
My mom told me it doesn't start till noon. So what time is her ride coming? Sometimes what they do is some people are there earlier, but from what my mom said is that she is not, like, the class doesn't start till noon. I don't know. Maybe my mom got the timing wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%.
My mom's taking this trans ride to whatever, and I hate it. I hate it with a passion.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad service. Like, it's a really good service.
Great service.
Right? I don't like it.
I know. You know what I don't like about it? Because I worked in healthcare, and a lot of the clients that we served did have trans help. And sometimes it's just that they don't tell you, okay, I'm going to be here at 10:30. They're like, okay, we're going to be here between the time of 10 and 11.
Yeah. So now you're waiting. And because they're such on a tight schedule.
Yeah.
If you're not there and if they can't find you, they just take off.
I know. We've had clients where they had mobility issues or other issues. Their appointments ran late, so they try to like rush down, and then the trans help was no longer there.
At the church, there have been a couple of times where some people who take it, they're just like left behind, and there's one person has one of those big wheel motorized chairs. So it's not like I can just grab it and put it in my Jeep.
Yeah.
And that person's stuck until they come back and pick him up again.
Yeah.
And so this person is now there waiting for like 2-3 hours. And
I know. It's a great service, but it's
also
obviously
service.
There's challenges with any service.
Yeah. So I told him it was my brother that
suggested the service.
And I told him, don't. My mom lives with me. I'll take care of her. If I can't take her, Uber will. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. It's $12 from my house to the church.
Yeah. But you know what, though? If your mom wants it, it is a good thing for independence. So I'm like, if that's something that your mom wants, then
She
it's
does.
totally
Yeah.
She does.
She doesn't want it. But
She wants it.
No, she doesn't want it.
Anyway, so that is our morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So how are you? Welcome to Vision to Success, where we talk about everything in between.
For sure. We talk about our goals, how to get there. And then clearly we talk about our families, our challenges, the things that are going on in our lives.
So before we get to today's topic, do you know what today's topic is all about?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Without looking at your phone.
I'm just going to share. No, please. I am so sorry. I have nothing to say. Like, Miguel is looking for a new host. Please apply with him.
I'm accepting applications, please.
Please apply with him, because I'm sure that anybody else will be better than my target.
No. But you know what? Before we get to that, let's talk about that. Let's you know what?
Let's dive deep into my tardiness.
Because this show has been an anchor for many.
Yes.
I've been approached by many how it's helped them and how it helps them get to a new level and stuff like that. It's very personable. We are an open book, some more than others. I
Yes.
tend to be more.
But you've grown quite a bit.
I have.
If you have been with us from the very beginnings, this man was like, right? Like
Yeah.
he was not, he will tell you what you need to do.
Oh, 100%.
He'd be like, this XYZ, this is why this is happening. But then you go and ask him and he's like, no, that's not applicable to me.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah, so I do recognize it, and I guess I have grown, and I'm
100%.
I'm a much better person.
You're welcome. Yes.
I'm on a 0 to 10 being godliness. I'm at about
Like a 4?
like an 11. No, I get it. I've leveled up, but I think part of the reasons why we've grown so much is because we're willing to put everything on the table.
Yeah.
And then
the stuff that's always not so like nice to share with people. That's
Right.
the hard part because everybody just wants to share their happy reels. That's what social
Right.
media is about, right?
Yep.
But with us, let us tell you,
Yeah.
if you go back to some of our podcasts, some of the podcasts where I've been too hardcore and I'm like, oh my gosh, Miguel, I am so sorry. And I'm like texting him multiple times
I
throughout
know.
the week.
She does do that. And that's okay. So right now I want to put this on the table because I am determined to fix this.
Is it my tardiness?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. I am determined to be fixed.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a new segment in the show called Let's Fix Maria.
Yes. Everybody put in what you think I should be fixed with and let's do it.
So Maria, okay, so let me slap you with a couple of compliments first before I tear you
Do
down.
the compliment sandwich where, have you guys ever heard of the compliment
yeah.
sandwiches?
Yeah.
Where you are giving some constructive criticism,
Yeah.
but you slap it. It's like a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
You slap it with a compliment, then a constructive criticism, and you end it with a compliment.
Yeah.
So there you go. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Do
so
your
let
thing.
Let me, I don't know if I'm going to end in a compliment, but let me,
You gotta end in a high.
let's one step at a time.
Okay, I'm excited.
I've known you now for a very long time.
Many years.
Many years. Our families are really tight. Our kids could be tighter, right? Like
They don't know each other very well, but we
exactly.
know each other. That's what matters.
Exactly. And there is a kind of an age gap too as well,
Yeah.
right? Okay. We've gone camping together as a family and everything. And I have to tell you, it is very hard to find anything wrong with you.
Mike, where are you?
It is, you're full of energy. You're very positive. You take on life with the glass half full. And even if you have a quarter of water or even 1/8 of water, you are so grateful for it. And I see how you are as a wife. I see you how you are as a mother. And I see you how you are as a friend. And I don't have anything negative to say about you, like nothing
except the tardiness.
Hang on one second.
But
let me cook.
let me hear that.
Hang on, let me cook.
Okay.
So it's hard for me to sit down and analyze you because when you're very close to
Godliness. Just kidding.
You're very
Just
close.
kidding.
Yeah, you're very close to, I don't want to say perfection but like, yeah, you are incredible. I hold you in a very high pedestal.
That's so kind of you. Thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
now give me my areas
No,
of
no.
improvement.
So I don't see. Here's the thing is, I don't want to be here telling you, oh, you need to fix this. So what I want to know is, I want to know the why.
Ooh, the why behind my tardiness?
Yeah, like what happens? Like, so if you have to be here at 10, so the podcast starts at 10.
Yeah, I should be here. In all honesty, I should be here like 20 minutes before.
Right, so we
so
can
we
go
can
over the
gather our
notes
thoughts. Yeah,
and go
exactly.
over the show notes and be like, okay, this we're gonna play this game. I have this in store. What do you
Yes.
have? And collaborate. And then 10 o'clock hits. Boom.
We're ready. Yes.
So 20 minutes is a good time.
10 to 20. 20. Okay, 20. I got the look. 20.
20.
Okay. Note to self, 9:40. Okay.
So what happens in the morning?
What happens in the morning?
And again, not just this show. I'm just using this show as an example. I'm talking about like
Overall?
overall. Like you have to be somewhere at 12 or at something we're at 2.
Okay, so for the
What
most
happens?
part, I am.
Also, it's just me.
No, it's not. Okay. So I do struggle with, like Mike will tell you, I do struggle with being on time. I do have to say that it's been a huge improvement
Okay.
to where I was before.
Like what? You just before you never showed up?
No, I just showed up super late, right? And I don't know. I wonder if it's, I don't want to give this as a cop out, but I'm like, is it the Latin thing in me? Because like well, you're Latin, so I'm like, you don't really fall under that. But
my dad was, and we talked about this before.
he was like military strict. Well, military as far as the like, if you're there at this time, you have to be there at this time.
Yeah, my dad would always say, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
And so he would be, you have to be wherever you are. You have to, even if you're just sitting in the parking lot waiting for the doors to open.
Yeah.
Right. You wherever you are, 15, the most 10 minutes, but you want to be there at 15 minutes early. And then the reasoning why he said that, and this is what stuck with me whatever, because my dad taught me how to drive.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
And so when we were before then, I was always dependent, like to go to church or to go to a birthday party or a quinceañera. I was always dependent on my parents.
Yeah.
All right, we're going now, and everybody jumps in the car. I never really questioned time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he started teaching me how to drive standard, and then I was going to appointments, and I had to be somewhere, and then he was like, "Okay, let's go. We gotta go." And I'm like, "Dad, there's still this certain time." And he goes, "Give yourself time for error."
Yeah. So I don't do that. I feel like I pack so much beforehand. And sometimes what I'm realizing as you're talking, I'm like, sometimes I underestimate the amount of time that something's going to take, or the error. I underestimate. I'm like, oh, error's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean error on the road. So error like in the sense of traffic jam.
Yeah.
A car breaking down or something that needs, you need gas. Oh, crap. I completely forgot the day before. Traffic, rides, crash, whatever the case is, give yourself time for error. And then the second thing is he said,
I thought that comment was Mike. I was like, whoa, he definitely is telling me a lot of areas for growth. Hey, good morning, Alex.
Lopez. But no, before we get to his comment, so here's the other thing that he said is, if you are going from like door to door, minute to minute, then what ends up happening is if anything happens, then now you're like 5 minutes behind. Now you're trying to compensate.
Yeah.
And then here's what happens. Error kicks in, human error, that you're now going faster than you should be.
Yeah.
You're not looking at your surroundings because not all you're doing is thinking about, oh crap, I'm 5 minutes late and I gotta
make up
this time, right?
Yeah.
And so you're more likely to make a human error, mistake or whatever, and you might hit someone, you might hit another car, you might make a wrong turn, you're not looking at traffic and all these different things. And so when you give yourself some leeway like that, like 15, you're going relaxing, you're listening to music, you're in your own headspace and you are good, you are fine, and then you're breathing versus before you're suffocating, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So my question to you is, what happens? Like, if you know you need to be somewhere? First of all, let's go from the beginning.
Okay.
If you know you need to be somewhere, and it takes 10 minutes to be there, what time do you tell yourself, I need to leave the house?
So today I did know that the time that I had to leave.
Yeah.
Where it delayed was that I didn't tell my mom ahead of time the time that we had to leave. So my communication could be stronger.
Yeah, that's not it. I'll tell you right now, you're a phenomenal communicator.
No. I'm not always a phenomenal communicator. Sometimes with my mom and I feel like sometimes we don't, like sometimes I think that she said something and she meant something else. And I think it's the same thing for her. Sometimes I'm like on Saturday, I thought Jesse had a baseball game. And I thought that when I was like, okay, I'll pick you up and then we'll go to the Joey's football game. But now that I realize that I'm saying back, I just said, I'll pick you up. What I meant is I'll pick you up from the house. And what she thought it was that I'll pick you up from the gym because she was at the gym.
Oh.
Yeah. And so then I'm like, oh, wait, now that I'm thinking back, I'm like, that's why she thought. Because then she called me and she's like, are you coming? And I was like, yeah, are you home? And she's like, no, I'm at the gym. So anyway, I realized that my communication sometimes is not the strongest.
Right.
With maybe with family, but in all honesty,
know, because if I was to rate you, I would say you're like an 8 or a 9. Even
okay.
that whole thing that you did about the cooking, the Relief Society breakfast.
Oh yeah,
dude, you were a master communicator. You told everybody where to go, what to do, the expectations. As soon as I walked in, you're like, okay, before you get started on the station, this is the plan, this is the vision. And I'm like, oh, freak, all right, cool, Hitler, okay. And then,
No, but it honestly did not make it so much easier.
Huge, because everybody was on the same page. So that's why I was saying I don't think it's communication. I really, really don't think so. Because taking your mom out of the equation, you're still late.
I wouldn't have been. No, like had I communicated better with my mom, I would have been. Well, granted, I would have still been here like 10 minutes before.
So my question is, so going back to my question, if you know that you have to be somewhere, let's say in 15 minutes or in 20 minutes, what time do you tell yourself I need to leave here by?
I think that's the problem. I think I don't set a clear expectation on myself that I'm like, okay, it'll take me about this time to get there. Okay. And then I'm like, okay, I'll need to leave around this time. But I don't say, okay, I am going to leave at this time to ensure that I get to this place at this time. And what happens is that if I'm running behind, for instance, when you were talking about room for error, I have to think about the room for error in my home because I have a big morning routine. And I like to do my morning routine before I leave the house or do anything else.
Which is admirable, right? Like I'm telling you right now, right? Because a lot of people cop out, right?
But sometimes the thing is that today especially, I got up a little bit later, and it's because Mike and I ended up talking earlier in the morning when I usually would get up and go downstairs. Mike and I were actually spending some time together, so I was like, okay, let me just push it back a little bit. And instead of cutting back certain things that I did, in my mind I was like, okay, I do have enough time. But then what happens that my kids woke up, I realized that it was a new day. I hadn't finalized what workout I'm going to start for the next 4 weeks. So there was a lot of things that I didn't realize right away that I hadn't done. So those were my room for errors. And I also like to work out for 45 minutes. So if my workout is 30 minutes, I'm going to do another workout on top of the workout that I've already done. So I think it was a lot of minutes. It's like a leaky tap. You know how like it just kind of goes, and then you actually don't know how much water you're wasting. I think in my mind this morning it was just like a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, a couple minutes in between, and then it just kind of added up to me being late. But I think it happens all the time because I'm not mindful. I'm not like, okay, if I have to be here, then I have to cut back in certain areas. So I need to be more clear with myself. And I think I need to especially think about it the night before and be like, okay, I need to be here at XYZ time. I need to get up at this time, and I need to make sure that I do XYZ. I'm a lot better.
No, and I do not want this to, like I'm chastising or intervention or whatever, but I'm genuinely curious because I don't know what's going on in your mind and I don't know what's happening.
I'm glad you said it because I realize it's my pre-planning. Because I do try to compact so much into my morning that I don't allow for wiggle room. In the things that I do. I need to allow X amount of time for wiggle room in order for things, because my kids are going to get up. Things are going to pop up. Like I'm going to have to, sometimes things that randomly happen, end up, I have to do, right?
Yeah.
So
Tegan has the exact same problem. Like to the T.
I was thinking about her because I know you shared with me before it was the church thing where you wanted to leave and then she was doing something. And I was like, that's me.
There was an IKEA table in the middle of the living room and I'm like, we got to go to church. It's in 7 minutes. And she's in the living room opening up boxes to get it ready. And I'm like, what are you doing? We have to go to church. Like, what are you doing? Right.
In her mind, she's probably like, well, not everybody's ready. Like, at least I can maximize my time and get all this done while everybody stays at the front and we can run out.
Yeah. So
I totally get that because I feel like that's something I do too.
So can I tell you my technique, and you're more than welcome to use it. If not, you can just throw it back and she's be like, screw off. And
okay, tell me what's your technique.
Ready?
Just do it after.
No. The what?
No, do it after. Like whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, just do it after.
My technique?
No. Okay, go ahead. That's not what I meant. No, I thought your technique was saying whatever you're thinking about, do it now.
Oh, no. That's
okay,
not the technique.
Ahead.
No. The technique is I don't plan for what time I have to be there. I plan for what time I have to leave.
I think that's what I need to do.
So for example, if I have to be there somewhere at 10 o'clock and I know it takes 10 minutes.
You're leaving at 9:40.
9, no, because I want to be there 15 minutes early.
So 9:35.
So I would be leaving around 9:30. 9:30, between 9:30 and 9:35. And that's my go time. Right? And so then everything I do in the morning is not for 10 o'clock. Everything I do in the morning is for 9:30. So I'm still rushing.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like whatever rushing.
But you have the time. I need to do that because Raquel had a dentist appointment on last Monday, and in my mind, I was like, okay, we have to be there at 2:30.
That's the mistake.
Exactly, because you know what happened? I completely forgot that I had to pick her up from Malton and drive back to Brampton in order for us to be there at like 2:30.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, oh, it's 10 minutes from here. Anyway.
I planned for the exit, not the arrival. Right?
Yeah.
That's and I'm telling you right now, especially what I do, because I work with multiple organizations per day. Like I'm looking at about 4, sometimes 4 to 5. The most I've ever done was been 7. That was absolutely insane day, right?
With driving and everything. Oh my god.
Yeah, with driving. But when I was planning, when I was sitting down, it was one organization that called and they said, we want you to be in 5 different locations between the hours of 9 and 3.
Okay.
Right. And then I'm like, okay, so 5 different locations between 9 and 3. And then afterwards I had like 2 or 3 more from different schools, different organizations. Right. And I'm like, okay, so I have all of this that I have to do. So these 5 between 9 and 3, I mapped them out. I went on Google, the distance between this and this. And so every time I was planning for my exit. What time do I have to leave to be there 10 to 15 minutes early?
Yeah.
Right. And then that's how I plan. And even till this day, if I know that I have to be somewhere and it's at whatever time and I want to be there 10, 15 minutes early, what time do I have to leave to be able to be there? So then I plan for and then it's the exit time that I have all morning. Yeah. So if I have to leave at 9:30 to be there for 9:45, everything that I do is based around 9:30. And if I'm like at 9:25, guys, I'm already late. I'm starting to get late. And if I hit 9:30, my conversation with the kids is like, guys, I'm late.
Yeah.
In their minds, I'm late to my appointment.
Yeah.
I'm late for my arrival.
Yeah.
Which is 9:45, right?
That makes total sense. Okay, I am gonna incorporate it. I am.
Yeah?
We shall see. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm excited because you're right. Like I have.
You know I love you, right? Like
100%.
Okay,
yeah.
and I'm not chastising you. And
absolutely.
when we go off, you're not gonna be like throwing my Funko Pops all over the room. It's like I hate this guy.
And walk out.
Yeah. No,
No.
It was a genuine because as long as I've known you, as long as and this is not a shot, but as long as I've known you, tardiness is
okay. Tardiness, not like super late after.
I'm not saying 31 hour late. I'm never saying that.
No, it's like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
5-10 minutes is my usual.
And then you're so apologetic. Oh, I'm so sorry this happened. And I'm like,
and even when you're like, oh, it's okay. I'm like, I see your judgment. Like he wrote me, I texted him this morning and he's like, oh, safe travels. I was like, I see your judgment in this sentence.
She messages me legitimately. She messages me and she goes, I'm so sorry. Something came up. I have to go do that. I'm going to be there a little bit late. And then, about 5 minutes late. And I'm like, don't worry. I'm like, safe travels. The minute she walks in, why are you judging me? What happened? What are you doing? I can see your eyeballs. And I'm like, what?
You know it. All right, let's see what Alex says.
What? Oh, say yes.
Okay, he says, a grand awakening to you both. You're both going to do great. Each and every morning is a blessing from the Almighty, for which is we must be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never. Yes. So true. You definitely, whatever you focus on grows.
Yeah.
May God give you all the strength to face the challenges in life today. Welcome to a new week, a new chapter, a new page, and a new wishes. May the week give you courage, strength, confidence, self-love, and inner peace. May every day this week fill your days with hope, love, sunshine, and positive energy. Let there be joy, fun, laughter. Have a fantastic and exquisite week for both of you and Familia. Thank you so much.
What a great post, eh?
Let's just end it. Like,
I know,
that's your motivation, please. For your daily motivation, just head on to your comments. Today is provided by Alex Lopez.
Oh my gosh.
We don't need to be here.
That made me feel so good. What a great post.
Thank you so much,
Unless
Alex.
it's a bot, but
it's a kind bot, I guess,
It's a very nice bot.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy was in Brampton yesterday. I don't know if he's still here, but...
Well, he says, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Yeah.
Do you know that, is it President Nelson? So in the church, we have I don't want to say a hierarchy of leadership, but there's
general authority, our president of the church.
Right?
Yeah.
And he will randomly, start his meetings 5 to 10 minutes early. Like they will be in the boardroom and they're about to get started. And he'll be like, you know what? Let's start. And so if you are like it starts at 10, so I have to be there for 10, you're already 10 minutes late.
I know. You know it. So you got to make sure to be there 20 minutes ahead.
Yeah. So they have this, and then again, it's I think the whole thing goes back to like when we go to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going in there right
Yes.
at the
I'm listening. Yes.
if you're getting there right at the thing, right? Or even
At the beginning of it.
At the beginning or church and you're getting changed and all these
You're
different.
flustered. You're panting.
You
You're
are.
like.
You can't.
like
There's no room. And when I used to work at the temple, they always said be early, and it goes because then give yourself room for revelation.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's good, right? And
Yeah.
then give yourself room for revelation. And so I love. Then again, when Tay and I we go, it's like Tegan. Session starts at 10. I would love to be there at like a 10:40 kind of thing, right? Or 9:40. We need to leave here at 9:30. I don't understand why it starts at 10. Like, I know, but like, I don't want to be rushing. I don't want to, like, I hate that feeling of rushing, right? And so,
I'm like,
anyways.
that's how I live my life.
But, he's here. He's here for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's so good.
We should have him on the show.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun, right?
But yeah, dude. So again, I'm not judging. I'm not chastising.
No, it's all right. It was a good, you know what? It was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah, I feel like I have a better sense of how to be better about being on time.
Okay.
Just plan for the time that I gotta leave instead of for the time that I gotta be there.
Yeah.
Which I think that's my big hiccup. I often plan for the time that I need to be there.
Yeah.
So I am a new woman starting today.
We will see. We will see.
We will chat about it our next podcast.
You know what?
I'll be here, ready to go.
I am.
We're going on live 5 minutes before.
I am going to be very curious to see what happens.
You know what? We should do a tracker. Whatever you track grows, right? Like whatever you track, you improve, right?
Oh yeah.
So we should have a
100%.
Maria tracker the times that she gets to her podcast.
Done, and
It's
done.
like I have to log in.
Yeah. You know what? Let's start one right now. Let me know 1 second. You were 3 minutes late today.
It said 10:00 on my. Are you talking about what the time that we're online?
Who is this person? I don't know who this person is. What's that?
Are you talking about the time?
No.
that
What
we're
time
on?
you arrived?
At 10:00. That's the time that I arrived.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, it did. That's
No,
why
you
I
didn't.
came in showing you my phone.
No, then your phone's wrong, dude.
No, but my phone is not wrong. It's saying the same time.
The time over there, I looked at it. It's right in the corner, and that's connected to the internet.
Listen,
So,
it's at 10:00. But okay, I'll give it to you. 10:03.
so today is June 10th,
Maria's arrival. 10:03.
and then who is this person? I don't know who this person is. All right, 10. I should just answer it right. Hello. Okay, so June 10th, you arrived at 10:03.
Okay.
And when you should have been here, at what time do we say?
Okay, we'll do 10. What time do you want? 9:40.
Let's say 15 minutes.
Okay, so 9:45.
9:45. So,
Okay, that's the goal. That's the standard. That's where we want to get to.
So 15 minutes. The global standard is if you're not 15 minutes early, you're 15 minutes.
So
You're late.
technically, I was 18 minutes late.
Right.
So we're gonna cut that back. It's gonna be.
So 18 minutes late.
I love it.
I'm
We're
tracking.
tracking.
Yeah.
We're gonna track my tardiness because you know what? I'm a huge believer. Whatever you track improves.
I double down on that.
Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna create an environment for me to grow and to get better at being on time. So what a great way.
So you see how nice she's being to me right now? The minute we go offline, I am going to get like the
Where's the
nastiest.
Funko Pop? Just kidding.
That's the other thing that your viciousness, your anger,
I don't know what he's talking about.
that Latina heat comes out.
It's
I've
all
seen it-
in
I've seen it
fun.
twice.
When?
Oh.
Okay, we did have a fight. I remember that fight that we had.
I've seen it 3 times then.
So Miguel and I
forgot
had
about that.
yeah, we had a couple fights.
We had 2. 1.
Was it one? I thought we had 2.
I called her out, and can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Jeez. I didn't call her out. I asked her what's going on with the book.
Was it that one?
It was that one.
Okay.
And so it was offline. Nobody saw. And then I guess because of everything that was happening, you were starting to. I was the last drop in your stress cup. And
Yeah,
then-
I don't remember exactly what led to it. I remember after where I'm like, I'm going, man. I'm going. He's like, no, we're going to talk about it. I'm like, no, I'm leaving.
Yeah. She wanted to leave. She wanted to storm out. And
I had to like slam the door. Let me have my moment.
And
Seriously.
I said, no, you're not going anywhere. We're talking about this. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember that. Holy crap. I remember it now, but it left my mind. And I think it's because of PTSD. It's like, oh my gosh.
But it's so crazy that we had like it was a bit of an intense fight, that I would say.
100%.
Yeah. And I think you said, he's like, man, the only other person that I've ever fought like this, it was with Tegan.
Yeah, but I will say it was very one-sided.
Please.
Anyway,
okay. Anyway, let's not get into another fight.
No. Hang on 1 second. Not in the one-sided like it was your fault. It was in the one-sided.
I was fighting on my own.
No, that the heat was coming more from you because of the pressure that you were in, and then my comment just like set you over the top. And so I was trying to calm the situation, letting you know, hey, I'm not coming from a evil place.
Sure.
And then
he was totally calm. 100%. 100%. He was totally calm. He was screaming. He wouldn't let me leave.
Lies. That is a lie. That is a big fat lie.
Anyway, let's get into our topic of today.
And the other one was when we went, Tay and I went to your house for movies.
And we get into a fight?
Not we, you and Mike.
Oh, yeah. Mike and I always get into fights. I was like, that's like, actually not so much lately.
No. Yeah, I've never seen it. It was just that one time.
I think I was annoyed or upset about something. I can't remember.
The kids, one of the your
I think it was one of the boys, right?
somebody wasn't going to sleep.
Yeah.
And so, or crying. No, he or she was crying. And Mike says, let them cry. They're going to be fine. And then you were like, no, I got to go tend to them. Like, no one's died from crying. And you're like, no. And then you guys just got in, like, whatever. And you just went up the stairs to go tend to the child.
Oh, isn't it the best getting into fights with your spouse in front of other people? Cheers to that.
But it wasn't. I'm not airing out your dirty laundry. I'm just saying it was.
Oh, no. You remember the time where I was really upset with Mike? It was at a birthday party.
No.
Okay, so you'll remember when I tell you. It was at my kids. It was my two oldest. They were having a combined birthday party. I was upset because I think I stressed out Mike. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that at that point, that fight was my fault. 100% it was, because he's a planner and I'm not, and I'm like changing all these things. So I'm making this party way more stressful than it needs to be. It was a ginormous party, way bigger than it needed to be. My kids were like, I don't know, like 4 or 5. I have no idea, right?
Yeah.
And so me and Mike are like full blown fighting, or maybe I'm just fighting with him and I'm like storming off. And then I thought it was Miguel. I thought it was Mike grabbing onto my arm to like kind of pull me or something. Yeah. And I went like, "Poof." Do you remember that? And it was you. And you're like, whoa.
Where was
it? It was at my kid's birthday party.
No,
it was
where?
like a troll themed birthday party.
Location?
The chapel, the Credit View Chapel. I don't even remember. I remember because you're like, oh my gosh, right? Anyway.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
Fiery.
Yeah.
Being married to me is very fiery. So we got to give a round of applause, Mike. If you're out there, he made it. He's made it 14 years.
Mike, you have won your exaltation. Like, you are entering heaven just because.
Oh, that poor man.
So check this out. I just got a text message from Sandra Beatty.
Okay.
Remember Sandra?
Yes, I remember Sandra. Show,
yeah.
Right?
So she goes, I'm listening to your podcast against my will.
Against her what? Against her better judgment or against her will?
And I don't know. And I don't know. Hang on, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be sharing this, but Sandra, she'll let me know. She goes, Jimmy is painting Aiden's room and he has it on. And I'm in my office just down the hallway. Ugh.
She's like, ew, what is that voice? I was trying to get away from those voices.
Ready? Sandra. La, 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 la. Sandra.
Oh my God.
La, 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 la.
Wait, she's gonna text you again.
Yeah, she's gonna text me.
She was the one calling before, like, get me off.
No, yeah, somebody else was calling. I have no idea who it is, but anyways, it doesn't matter.
All right.
So yeah, and anyways, I very, very rarely seen you explode, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm a much calmer person.
You are. I think you are for the most part. I think you're passionate, and when you believe something to be true, you're just like.
I'm a lot better now though, because before it was, now it's I can express myself and be concise and clear, straight to the point. Before I was just like and like crying and like just didn't know how to express myself.
But and again, going back to this whole podcast and what we're doing, it's the importance of continuing education.
Yes.
Right? Because everything that you're doing, how you are now, it's because over the years you've given yourself time for not only growth and patience, but also to learn and put into practice these principles. Right?
Messy learning. That's what I always say. Because whenever you're trying things out, they're going to be messy. They're not perfect, right?
Yeah.
And that's what stops us sometimes. We're like, I can't do it.
Messy learning.
Yes.
Where did you get that?
From my mind. Literally.
Did you really?
Yeah. I say messy learning and messy conversations. I've had difficult conversations. I actually had a very difficult conversation with someone about a month ago. And I started off with the conversation being like, listen, this conversation is going to be messy. And I just want you to know that this is where I want to be. I want us to work together. But the process may be very messy. And I hope you're open to having this conversation.
And what if the person comes back and says no?
Then what am I going to do? Force them? Then I'm like, all right.
Just walk away.
Yeah, because you can't really force someone to have a conversation if they don't want to, right? Because then at that point, for me, I'm going to lose my cool.
Yeah.
Because then all the thoughts are coming with regards to like, I'm no longer in control of myself, right? Is that it, Sandra?
Sandra says, you are a loser. Jimmy and I are howling right now.
Oh, hey, it's Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa. Good to see you, girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think if somebody walked away from me, highly, highly upset I'd be. But because of I know my tendencies, I would walk away from the situation right then and there.
And somebody like Sandra, who's very, very old, right?
Sandra's not old.
Sandra's very old. She's like
your age? Just kidding.
She's not my age. I'm a baby compared to Sandra. If we're gonna do a ratio comparison, whatever, man, like I'm a baby and Sandra's like in her 50s. So just to let you know how old she is. So for someone like Sandra, right, the more she's lived on Earth,
the more experience she's had.
the more experience.
Oh man.
The more experiences she has in life, and then the more opportunity she's giving herself to progress, right? So I never go against growing. Like, I mean, again, going back to Sandra, she's so old. How old is she?
Your age?
She was there when the 10 Commandments were being written.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, you can grow at any age. I would say, you know what I want to say with regards to growth? I'm very proud of my mother. So my mom.
Your mom's killing it right now.
Seriously.
What is happening? I saw the picture of you posted with your mom.
Yeah, which
it was
one?
at the gym.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that woman is living her life right now.
Yes, and it's been you know I would say it's been about like 18 months, close to 2 years, to hard, intense work for her. Like, it's not that she just kind of let her life be after the passing of my dad. It was very, very hard for an extremely long time. She did the work though. She sought help. She did like everything she could under the sun. She read, she practiced, she was in an environment where she could process her emotions and everything. And I'm telling you, my mom is like a changed woman.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
And this might be a personal question for you. And,
okay.
and please, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But do you feel that sometimes as partners, we hold back our partners?
100%. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes. And I'm gonna get like, well, okay.
Not. I'm not asking about Mike holding you. Or
No,
you
no,
holding
no,
Mike,
not
but
at all.
I'm
No.
seeing your mom the way that she's right now.
Yes. Okay. So let me tell you something with regard. My dad, an incredible man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad did the best he could with what he knew.
Right.
My dad's background was really a hard background. He didn't grow up with his parents. Like, there was a lot of turmoil and things that happened. So my dad did do the best that he could.
Right.
Also, old school Hispanic thinking, where he was the patriarch of the family.
Same. Yeah.
Exactly. It was like, you know, it was him on the top and kind of like everybody else on the bottom. Whatever he said kind of went. And it's just, it was the times. You know, sometimes we have this, I really feel like we have this tendency to judge the past with what's going on now, which we shouldn't. People do the best they can with what they know at the time that they're living with, right?
the resources that's around them.
Exactly.
100%. Yep.
Exactly. Now that we know more, we have more resources, we can do better. And that's exactly what my mom is living. My mom knows more. She has more lived experience. She has, you know, she has some really difficult times that she's gone through. And my dad, you know, in the way that he loved my mom, didn't always give her the opportunity to be independent.
Right.
Right? So now my mom has this incredible opportunity ahead of her where she actually gets to figure out who she is.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's never too late
Yeah.
to embrace life. Like I follow this doctor. He's a functional doctor, and he says the number one killer per se is the fact that we give up at a certain age where it's just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, you know, we just kind of wait until the day that we go. And that's not the case at all. We have a purpose. We have a need to belong. We have things that we need to do until the day we're no longer on this earth. So anyway, seeing my mom kind of develop, like my mom, she goes to the gym 5 times a week. She's full blown independent. I'm like, she's like, oh, don't worry. I'm just going to take the bus. No, I'm going here. I'm going there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Seeing her change has been incredible. I'm like, I'm so proud of her.
My mom was in a similar, but my dad was still alive when she came to that realization.
Yeah.
And she was someone fairly young, like around your mom's age. But I remember, like, my dad was an indoor cat.
Yeah.
Like, that was my dad. He loved going from his bed to Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
And
that was the schedule.
And then back to bed. Like that this was his schedule. And then obviously gathering with his family and stuff like that. But if he didn't have to leave the house, we would just stay. Now, he was a worker.
Yeah.
So in the sense of, like, if anything needed fixing, if anybody needed help,
Like a provider, right?
he was the first person there.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, my dad would take my mom everywhere, but then sometimes he just didn't want to go. So my mom was like, I can't be waiting around for you. So she figured out the bus system sometimes back in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And she would go to the movies.
Yeah.
And here's how much of a sneak my mom was. She would find the times of the movies. She would go to one movie.
Yeah.
And then you have to cross the line, right? To pay your ticket to get to the theaters.
Yeah.
So she would pay her ticket, cross the line. She would go from one movie to another movie. She would be movie hopping. So by the end of the day, she'd be watching like 2 or 3 movies, and she'd be like, "All right, later." So she would see a change in shift, like employees, right? And then nobody knew who she was, whatever. But anyways, I'm probably giving too much away about my mom, but. She was a gangster, right? She was
full blown.
But it was one of these things, and I think that's why this
formation.
No, dude, trans help.
Trans help. Sorry.
Right. You are the worst on filling in the blanks.
Anything, if you start saying a word, I will make it into a motivational word. Transformational. Okay.
Transaction. Transing. No, dude, just let me talk. But anyway, so for her, this is good because she can just call him, and then she's not waiting around for me to call for Uber and stuff. So
it's more independence,
I
right?
get it. But yeah, so yeah, I know sometimes we as spouses hold people back, right? And
that's why it's a good assessment, right? Like, it's like a self-assessment that you got to think, like, what am I doing? I definitely have held Mike back. In the past, 100%. There was this remember there was this point in time that I was insecure, that I was all in my thoughts and all that. I remember this one time where he received a calling at church. He was the elders quorum president, and 100% I was not supportive. I
really
made it hard for him to serve. I made it so difficult for him to do anything. I held him back.
So here's my question for you.
Yeah.
I love Mike.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he communicates is just, I mean, I love Mike. How did he respond back?
Well, back then he was more, he's more like feisty now.
Now?
Yeah, he's more feisty now. So now if I'm like doing something, he's like, hey, can't talk to me that way, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Mike, I love you.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's more like feisty, or like he hold his own, right? I think back then I was not in a good place, which I think sometimes trickles to those around us. And so I think perhaps, and remember, like I just had a baby. So he was probably a lot more tender with me because I think it was Jesse. Yeah. He got called as an elders quorum president the day that Jesse was born. And I was so upset about it because the call, it was to the hospital. And I was like, what? They didn't realize that you just had a baby? It was just you can't, like, you're a human being. You don't always know what's going on in other people's lives, right? And so in my mind, I was like, oh, well, they should have known. Keep in mind, old me wouldn't tell anybody anything. Half of the people didn't even know I was pregnant. The other half didn't know when I was due, right? Yeah. So I didn't tell anybody, even though Mike wanted to, like, say, hey, we're pregnant, like, we need support kind of thing. I wouldn't let him. Anyway, so right that day, it was the day that he got called as an elder quorum's president. Was it then? Or maybe Joy? I can't remember. One of my 2 kids. And yeah, I gave him the hardest time
Wow.
from like beginning to end. So here's the thing. He got called into the bishopric a few years later. He was released, right? He had a different calling. He was called into the bishopric. And as we were, because when you're called into a calling like that, it's both you and your spouse that goes in,
Yeah.
because it's a heavy calling. Like
at
there's a
the-
lot of things.
At the end of the day, it's a double. It's a dual. It's a calling for both,
100%.
right?
I
One's being set apart, but the other one's the one that's sustaining, and that requires the two people there.
It's the two, because he's getting called in. I have 4 kids at this point, and Ruby is like 2 years old, so it's like 2, 4, 6, and 8. That's how old my kids are.
Yeah.
And Mike is getting called into the bishopric, right? And so I'm sitting there, and they're talking like President, not Ibanez, President.
It's Wilmot and then President
President
Aguirre.
Wilmot. Yeah, it was President Wilmot talking to us, and President Wilmot turned to me and he's like, "Will you support your husband?" And in my mind, I kid you not, it was the thought. It was like somebody talking to me and said, I might cry with this one. And they said, like the voice said, "Are you gonna hinder Mike?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ever since then, I was like, heck to the no. I will not hinder him in any calling that he has in our church. Anyway, so yeah, I did say, I was like, absolutely, I'm here to support him.
That is an insane question to ask.
Yeah.
Not a bad question, but like such a thought deep, provoking.
The hindering one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Are you gonna hinder Mike?
Yeah, that was the voice in my mind that said so pointedly, and it like pierced my heart that I was like, no, I will not hinder him, and yes, I will support him. So sure enough, I was like, it was awesome because we were even though I had the 4 kids, I was never late.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I was never late to church. I was like, he used to leave early because when you're serving in the bishopric, there's a lot of hours that you're putting in.
Yeah.
It's not just the services; it's like the preparation before the meetings, the support. Like there's a lot of things there's a lot of moving parts going on, right?
Yeah.
Had 4 young kids, and yeah, I knew in my heart, I was like, it's not going to be me the one that hinders him. So yeah.
Wow.
So that is a little journey.
What a great story. No, that's awesome. No, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Vanessa Brisson, because she's French, right?
Yes, you are French.
So Brisson. Vanessa Brisson. I would say for sure we hold back our partners because you have responsibilities for each other and won't be able to do everything you'd like when there is someone else that takes care of or think of.
Yeah. But it's, I guess, like, in the sense with holding back, it's like, are we supportive enough towards, like, the things that they want to do?
Yeah.
Do we create an environment of independence for them to be able to?
There's been a couple of times where I've been called, so right now we're cleaning the chapel. It's our quarter to clean the chapel. And I've been going there every Saturday.
To clean the chapel?
To clean, right? I like doing it. I like being able to give back after everything the church has given me, kind of thing, right? And I take my boys because it's such a great opportunity for them, to learn and to provide service and stuff like that. And so sometimes starting at, dedicating myself every Saturday morning to go and clean a building, it takes away from what her and I kind of want to do maybe on the weekend. But then she realizes that, so she just plans for afterwards. And then she shows up as well, and she can't be there every Saturday. But even sometimes when I get called and it's like, we're at the hospital, we need a blessing, and it's 2 a.m, right? And she's like, come back, and so it's very. There's no way that I would be able to do what I do if I didn't have a supportive person beside me, right?
Yeah.
She goes, I was this close to banning you from saying my last name.
The butcher was crazy.
Brisson. I think Brisson is very, very close. So listen, today's podcast is actually, it's very interesting. It has nothing to do what we were looking at talking, but I really want to quickly mention today's theme because I want to stay true to the Matrix. About summer vibes.
Okay.
So
what do you mean? Like, elaborate, I guess.
So I guess I'll give you the history behind this, okay? Because I know that you haven't read the.
I haven't read the book. As we know, I was not early today.
You were not. We're past that now. We're good. I'm in a much better place, right?
He's not twitching anymore.
I don't have my judging eyes. My judging eyeballs.
I know. I always say I see your eyeballs. I would sell it to my
What
kids.
where do you come from? Like when you say that, I see your eyeballs. Like that is the weirdest, most. Anyways,
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
it is.
normal in our family.
Last week was my birthday. Eh?
I know. I called you.
Did you buy me anything?
Absolutely.
What did you buy me?
The book.
No, you didn't. Did
Yes,
you really?
I did.
Did you really?
No, I'm going to though. I'm like, let me not lie. But I know exactly, and I have exactly.
you
No,
don't-
I'm
you don't
going
ha-
to. No,
Stop.
I'm going to.
Can
You know
stop
why?
for a second? No, stop for a second. Listen, stop for a second. You don't have to buy me the book.
I want to buy you.
But
the
why
book.
do you want me to buy? If you're gonna buy me I want you to buy me a different book.
A different book?
Yeah.
Ooh, can I buy you a book that I really like that you're gonna read?
If
Will
it's
you
that- if-
promise?
if it's that
not,
RX
No, it's not that. I know how much you love that. It's not that book. I promise. It's like your.
Taking pulled that out the other day. Where were we? Oh my gosh, where were we? We were in the bathroom. So we have a massive his and her bathroom, right? Whatever. And then what did she say?
About the book or about the nail in the head?
So she said, I'm so stressed out or whatever. I'm like, do you know why you're so stressed out? You give yourself so much stuff, right? That you can't allocate the little time that you have.
But it's not
right?
about the nail.
But hang on one second. And then I'm like, but you know what? I know you're just gonna end up doing what you want. So this is just my advice to you. So I go into the closet, we have a massive closet. So I'm getting changed in there. We come out and she goes, I'm gonna tell you something and I don't want you to be offended. I'm like, oh crap. She goes, I was not looking for advice. I just needed you to hear. She goes, the nail, I know that the nail is there. And I just needed you to hear me out. And
Tegan, wherever you are, Tegan, let's call her right now.
No, we are not calling her.
I'm calling her. Tegan, I hope you watch this. I'm clapping for you.
And so I was just quiet and I was just like,
yeah.
I apologize. I recognize that
you were fixing a nail, but it was not about the nail.
She knew that there was a nail there and it was not about the nail at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool. Point for Tegan. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
Book.
So we what?
About the book that I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. Don't.
Okay, I won't get you that book. I'm gonna get you one of my favorite books, but you have to promise to read it.
Is it long?
Okay, I'll get you a short book. Can I get you a short book? One of my favorite books.
So what I have been doing is I've been listening to books in the car.
I
Does
know.
that count, or do I have to sit down and read?
I want you to sit down and read this one. It's just a short book. It's a beautiful book. It's a short read. You're gonna like it. I already have it in mind.
So what's the other one?
What do you mean?
Well, I said, is it a long book? And I'm like, okay, I'll get you. You said, okay, I'll get you a short book. So did you have another book in mind?
Well, I'm debating between two books, but I think one might be a little longer. I have my 3 favorite books that I feel like everybody needs to read. But one of them you don't like it. Well, of the book that I want to get you?
Yeah, all of them. Can I pick?
You want to pick? No, one is a for sure no. Anxiety RX. Anyway, if you
give him a picture book, yeah, give me a coloring book. Come on, dude.
You know the adult coloring books, I'll give it so you can, with motivational quotes on there.
Oh, that would be good.
I know you'd love that.
Would
He wouldn't do it. He
I
100%.
have an adult coloring book.
Do you do it?
Yes.
When? Tell me when.
When I'm here stressed out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Okay. So it was Anxiety RX. Okay, but you don't like that book, so we're not going to
It's
do
not that
that
I
one.
don't like it. It's you've quoted it way too much.
So do you. You quote it too. The thought. Do you remember? You can't fix a thought with more thoughts.
I've quoted one thing from the
Okay,
book.
you've quoted other stuff that I've quoted, and you're like, oh, that's so good. Let me write it down.
Okay, relax.
So anyway,
Anyways, what's the other one?
The other one is a book called Patience. I was actually, and I feel like that book is a beautiful book that everybody, The Virtue of Patience.
The Virtue of Patience.
It's a short book. It's a beautiful book. It is a short read.
Okay.
It won't be it's like a tiny book.
Okay, what's
and
the
that's
third
my
one?
yearly read. The third book is, I really like this book actually. It was really good. Hold on. Let me pull it up right now.
So if you know any of these books, put your let us know which one you think.
Ooh, you know what? I think you'll really like this one. I think actually this might be up your alley. The Go-Giver.
Oh, I've heard about that one.
It's really
I've
good.
heard.
I just finished listening to it, and it is so good.
Okay.
It's like
So I'll tell you which one I want.
which one do you want?
Anxiety RX.
Are you really?
I'm being 100% serious.
Are you serious?
I'm all about growth, and I got to do stuff that I don't like.
Are you serious?
100%.
It is a ginormous book. Let me tell you that.
What are you trying
It
to say?
has no pictures. You know that, right?
Oh, doesn't it? Crap. Hang on. Let me rethink this.
Are you sure? You are committing to
I am committing.
our
Whatever
millions of viewers.
Whatever I say, I follow through.
Okay, then you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna give it for it's gonna be a birthday present. I'm gonna get it to you this week.
Okay.
And then what you're gonna every podcast that we have, you're gonna give a little blurb about what you learned or what you love or your biggest takeaway.
Done.
The Total Money Makeover. That's a good one too. If you wanted a finance book.
The Total Money Makeover. Okay.
That's a good find. That'll be your
this
next.
This is the book. You guys should read it and call it The Courage of them. Oh.
It's The Courage of the Mind. Okay, we'll take a look at that for sure. Should have like a book club, eh?
We should.
Book clubs are amazing. We should do a book club. Okay, let us know. Yes, let us know in the comments if you're down for a book club.
And then we can be like a Facebook page,
or like a group where we just kind of share our takeaways.
And then we can do in a podcast, like a video.
Another podcast.
Yeah, but talking about the book.
Yes.
Just specifically about the book.
Okay, if you're down for being in VS
book club,
let us know in the comments. And I was gonna call you Mike. Miguel and I will sort it out.
You keep doing that. You know that, right?
I know it's kind of weird. I call you Mike, and then sometimes I call
Mike Miguel. That's a worse one. If you're calling your husband Miguel, that's out of the two.
It's just
out of the ladder.
Listen, it's just sometimes on Mondays after when I get home and I'm like, because you and I have been talking, I'm like, I know we have great spouses.
So yes, we do.
So supportive.
so hang on one second. So I'll take now. What's gonna happen with the other book that I lent you? Is that coming back to me?
Do you want it? I've written it. I should get you a.
But here's the thing.
I've written a lot of stuff on it. I want to get you a new book.
So here's my question.
Okay.
Is this stuff that you've written stuff that you want to keep?
The stuff that I've written, I'm gonna get you a new one of that one, because I'm like, it's
Don't worry about it. If you get me, listen, I'll make you a deal. If you get me this Anxiety RX, it's already giving me anxiety. So
when you see it, Tony Robbins Unshakable. That's a really good finance book. Okay, the next one that we're gonna do is a finance one. Anyway.
What does that say? Happy old man's birthday. Abuelito. Hey, man, I'm not an abuelito yet. Abuelito
100%.
means grandfather. Get out of here.
You need to read, man. Like, reading is good for the soul.
It is. I'm going to read.
Okay, so we're going to do...
Yeah, we'll do the VS. Let me make these notes down.
Okay, so whoever wants to join Miguel in reading this book is called Anxiety RX. He's committing right now and here to reading this book and sharing a takeaway every podcast that we do. You're gonna love it. I really do think that you're gonna love it. It's gonna
I believe you. So the VS book podcast, VS book club, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll create a page. Are you committing to this?
To do the VS book club? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, with a page, we can just pop in yeah.
Yeah, it's not set every week. It's just once we're done with the book.
Yeah.
Then we'll create one video. We'll upload the video. We'll go live and we just talk about the book.
So I love it because I love reading. Yeah. So you have no idea how much I love reading.
So they're like one-off things. It doesn't have to. We don't have to be. Oh, it has to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It can be like we go through the book, we talk about the book, and it's one-off videos.
Yeah, it could be like a live. Yeah, we'll do a live in there. If you're reading the book with us, then we can like interact and whatnot. Yeah. I love it. Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
You should record himself reading and then reflect on what you're. Hey man, I thought you were on my side, bros. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay, so I'll get you that book. Okay. And then I have a surprise gift for you too, because I know you've been having some tummy issues. So that's self-induced though. That's I downloaded an entire Costco size of Doritos, and that was not the good thing to do. It was. I have to say, and here's the thing about what was happening as I was eating this bag of Doritos. I did feel that point where it's like I should stop, but you couldn't. It was like, but then can I tell? So the stupidest thing I've ever done. Okay. So here's this bag size. These bags. Have you seen them? Yeah, right? They're like a 2-kilo bag. I don't know sizes, but it's a pretty big bag. Yeah. So I'm downloading. We're watching a movie, and I get to a point where it's like, I've had enough. But then I made the mistake of touching the bag, and I'm like, there's only a few left. Might as well go for it. I'm always like, you know what? Let me just set a record. You ate the whole bag. I ate the entire by yourself. by myself. And my kids were like, "Oh, can I have some?" I'm like, "Don't touch my bag."
Oh my gosh. So there's a family bag and then there's your bag.
Yeah. And she's at Costco right now, and she knows to bring 2 bags, once for me and once for the rest of the family. And so I downloaded this whole bag, and then I was like, and then during the movie towards the end, I was like the head started spinning. I'm like, now I have to go to bed.
Dorito sweats.
During the night, yeah.
Oh, I'm like, my stomach is like, because I felt that kind of feeling.
And that bathroom visit was not a good experience.
So I texted him for his birthday. I was like, "Hey, happy birthday. Hope you have all the Doritos that you want." And he's like, "No, my stomach does not." He's like, "What did you say? Something about pooping or something?" And I'm like, "Is it coming out the shape of a Dorito?"
Like, I think so. It's my stomach's recreating the Doritos, and yeah. I had a buddy of mine who puked. I don't know if I ever told you this story. So one of the reasons why I don't drink, right, is not only because I had coaches, athlete and dance coaches that said don't drink, and the church.
Yeah.
But I remember going to a club. And one of my buddies, he was in the back seat, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling good," and he's been drinking all night, right? Whatever. Yeah. I'm like, "Do not puke in my car." And so we kind of like do a U-turn. I find a coffee shop. I was doing is like coffee time back, and then we rushed right in. As we're all taking him to the bathroom, he opens his mouth and just fire hydrants out, right?
It's the smell for me. I'm like, it's not even. Oh.
But here's the thing: is right in the middle of his puke is a whole slice of tomato.
That's so gross.
Like,
is that? Can you eat tomatoes now or no?
No, I can eat tomatoes. I'm fine with tomatoes, but. Like
it didn't digest.
No. You're not understanding. Like a slice.
Like it came out of him?
Yes. Like, when you eat a burger or something, you're taking bites. So there should not be a whole unbidden slice of tomato.
He just like.
I don't know what he did.
He swallowed it whole somehow.
Or the liquor put it back together in his stomach.
And that's the day you stop eating veggies,
and
right? That's like, it's like, forget that.
And I was like, if alcohol can do that to a tomato, I'm like, I don't want a full grown chicken inside of me. I eat a lot of chicken, right? And so I'm like, so that happened.
So there you go. That's the reason.
That's the number one reason why I don't drink.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But before we go, the question that was asked yesterday during class of one of my youth, he goes, and I'm going to ask you is, what's the problem with complacency?
You keep, to me, if you're complacent, it's not like you just stay where you are. You keep regressing.
Oh, dang.
Mm-hmm. Because you lose what you have, right? If you're just complacent, then you're going to continue to lose what you have, and people are going to keep moving ahead of you, or you're going to have that perception, and then you just become bitter and angry and all that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think like that.
Write it down.
So, hang on. So,
I'm telling you, I like.
Complacency is what?
Means you're regressing. There's, if Mike is still here, there's the saying: if you're not progressing, you're regressing. Yeah, in battle, if you're not progressing, then you're regressing, or something like that. I can't remember exactly the quote, but yeah, that's exactly it. If you're not progressing, then you're regressing. There's no such a thing as stand still. Because time keeps going by, everything keeps moving forward. It's the law of nature, right? Nature continues to grow. So if you're not growing, then you're regressing.
Holy crap. Okay, Les Brown. So what I said was Les Brown, which is...
You should have called me, Maria.
Yeah,
just kidding.
Yeah. I'm not quoting you, though. So just letting you know. But what I did say was like, I believe it was Les Brown that said that progression is the enemy to progress. Complacency is the enemy to progress.
I was like progression.
Yeah. So complacency is the enemy to greatness. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's why you can tell people that are bitter and people that are angry and people that are like judgmental is those people that haven't continued to grow, haven't continued to do things. Because in all honesty, nobody that's doing the same thing as you is going to criticize you. People who are more successful than you and know the grind and how hard it is and like the feelings and everything, they don't criticize you because they know exactly how you're feeling. It is those people that don't know what it's like, the ones that are quick to criticize you.
So I created 21 things that you can do this summer to not be complacent.
Ooh.
Because this is the thing about summer's coming. And the laziness begins. People just sit around, do nothing, which is great. I think you need to give yourself time for
Rest.
right? It's a time of reset. But then sometimes that one day or that 1 hour turns into a week and then turns into a month. And all of a sudden it's the entire summer that you've done nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to fire them really quickly.
Yeah.
And then so 21 things, something that you can do with your families that just keeps moving forward, right? A beach day, hiking adventure, backyard camping.
Backyard camping.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've done that in the past before. We love it. Outdoor movie night, water balloon fight, visit the zoo or the aquarium, bike rides, gardening together, picnic at the park, visit a farmer's market, do yourself project crafts, explore the museum, attend local festivals, fishing trips, sports days, amusement park visits, ice cream making, nature scavenger hunts, kayaking or canoeing, visit historical sites, and backyard barbecues.
Ooh, I like it. We should post this list
Yeah,
on there.
I'll post a list, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you write it down. Things that are written down are more likely to do. And then it feels so good too when you do it to cross it off.
Yeah, I 100%. So we had a bunch of comments before we let you guys go. It says here, that's over 100. I am natural number one.
Where are you reading?
Alexander right there.
Okay.
Oh, wait, actually.
Hold on.
Hang on. Okay, so right here it says we should record himself reading and reflecting on what. No, we're not doing that, or anyone. I have a book. I have to continue. I have too many things that distract me. Same. I'm a natural number one side, just on the side of knowledge. Sekela. Whatever, dude. He's funny. That's over 1,000 calories. I don't know.
That's your Doritos. That's more than 1,000, girl. Like 500 is those tiny little bags. We're probably thinking that you consume
There's
probably.
no way. There's no way that a small bag is 500 calories.
Yes, it is. Okay, let's see.
I don't want to. Please don't look. Please don't look that up. I'm stressed. No, that's.
It's better not to know. Okay, I get you.
Well, because Tegan's coming home with another family size, and I might just go for part 2. I'm naturally on the side of the knowledge and that. And then Alexander's open. When you swallow, you don't chew properly.
Oh, is that with the big tomato coming out, right? I'm telling you, he did not chew that tomato up.
That was insane. If you just logged in, you want to know about the tomato puking. So let's just go a couple of things back. All right. So
that's it. Just like that, we're done. An hour went like this.
I know, right? What the heck? So, dude, one takeaway from you.
How to plan to when I have to leave rather than with the time that I have to be there. 100% took it to heart in a positive way.
In a positive way, yeah.
Yeah, no,
that we know of. I'll report back to let you know exactly.
It becomes all bruised.
to let you know exactly how she took it. Yeah. Next week I log in and I'm like battered and bruised and stuff like that.
I'm like, he fell. We were just walking up the stairs. He fell, man. Why are you asking questions?
Yeah, so today's tracking would be June 10th. You arrived at 10:30. Your goal is to be here 10:03. 10:03.
Okay, 10:03.
Sorry, dyslexic. And then you're planning to be here at 9:45, so you were 18 minutes late.
There you go. So next week, 9:45. I will plan to leave my house by 9:25. Give myself ample of time. It takes me about 15 minutes to get here, but sometimes there's traffic, so that traffic, those 5 minutes will.
Wow. My takeaway, 100% was that messy learning.
Messy learning?
I love. It's actually an answer. I'm creating a matrix of progression.
Okay.
There's 2 fundamental needs that every human has.
Yeah.
They need to progress and they need to belong.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you can possibly think of, goals, where do you want to be in life or whatever, fall under these 2 categories. Mm-hmm. It's embedded in our spiritual DNA. It started from the plan of salvation, the need to progress, and the need to belong. Mm-hmm. And so I'm creating a matrix that I would love to develop into like
a workshop
and stuff like that. And so I have like a circle of life, and in the center I'm missing something. And I think it's messy learning.
You're welcome. See, just like that. Yeah. I have been your missing piece this whole time.
Okay, you relax.
The amount of things that I've said,
one thing that
had
said.
Ended up in his presentations or his quarter, or he's messaged me like, "Hey, what do you like? What was that again?"
I did that one time.
One still counts.
The second thing is the 5 Fs.
5 Fs. Anyway, if you don't know what that is, go back a couple episodes. It's our favorite apps.
I want to use it. I do want to use that as a workshop. I just need to change the name. I can't go in as the 5. Listen, we're gonna talk F today, and so
Why? Let's talk about. I'm pretty sure I've done a workshop at church talking about the Fs.
that's horrible.
Why? Anyway, our music ended. Have an amazing week. We shall see you next time, all right?
Love you all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Get a minute, don't know. Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your. Hush up, gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. Part of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked the speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. You hear in yourself when no one's to be found. What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind?
Cause you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if I tried it. You're the artist in the mess, and happily be formed anew in your hands.
Hush up, gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time.